Here is Bixby Foot about to take second from Shane Lake, who did not hit on the first cycle. Looks like those worn tires are starting to affect the 155. Foot has not had a very good ARLA career so far, though he has had the occasional bright spot, and it looks like tonight will be one of those bright spots. Caution 7 flew in lap 85. Alex Carson blows his engine coming off of turn 4, then he pulls right into DJ Daniels, and then everyone starts piling in. Legrell, Olivier Martinez, Leslie Riggs are involved. Carson's car comes to rest at the bottom of the track, and here come the leaders. Jeb Klinger makes the mistake of going low and hits the 28 and is turned around by the 14 of Bixby Foot, causing a bit of a stack up. He is also tagged by the 51 of Jason Bates. This is the second week in a row that Klinger's run very well, only to have something happen to him. Hopefully that damage won't put him too far off the pace. Bobby Porteau led on the restart, everyone pitted, and he came out with the lead. Bixby Foot still runs second. They just put Eric Jackson 2 laps down. Jeb Klinger restarted third, but you saw Shane Lake and Andy Pearson take third and fourth from him. Klinger's actually not doing too bad despite all that damage he has. He's only losing positions because he got forced up into the high line. Remember how I said that tonight was looking to be a bright spot in Bixby Foot's career? Well, you can disregard that because he blows his engine while running in second. Unfortunately, he can't get to the apron, and so car number 14 is going to come to a stop on the track, prompting officials to throw the yellow. Bobby Porteau continues to lead on the restart. He gets a big jump over Andy Pearson. The officials didn't like that and issued him a warning over the radio. Shane Lake's strategy of not pitting on the first cycle has really paid off. He knew you only had to make one stop during this race, and so he decided to make that stop 2 yellows ago. Everyone that pitted on the first cycle had fresher tires, but Lake did an excellent job of hanging on to a spot in the top 5, and now he is in contention to win the race. The final caution flew on lap 118. Lucas Sweeney washes up the track into Brenda Riggs, who takes him into the wall. The 8 car goes over. Aaron Cruz is around. Joel Rodriguez and Nami Wara hammer the pit wall. Then Sweeney gets hit by Amy Harrison, Benji Flynn, Rachel Gonzalez, and Eric Jackson. Here comes DJ Daniels in the 78. He joins the fun in running into the 8. Let's take another look at Rodriguez and Mura. That was a very nasty collision with the pit wall. There's Cruz spinning. The 39 hits the 24 and then clips the 56 and takes them both into the pit wall. Nami Mura was able to climb out of her car, but Rodriguez's medical condition is unknown. Bobby Porteau led on the restart with Kevin Monroe, his teammate, right behind him. Andy Pearson is in third, and Ricky Navarro is in fourth. Shane Lake hooks the 34 and almost turns him into the pits. Let's take another look at that. Lake washes up the track just a little bit coming off of turn 2 and turns Navarro onto the apron. Luckily, he merges back onto the track before he hits the pit wall. However, right behind that, Brenda Riggs turns Jason Bates and spins him into the pits. This was the second week in a row that Bates has spun into the pit lane. He spun himself and Eric Jackson into the pits at Tampa last week while they were battling for the lead. Brenda Riggs was penalized after Tampa Bay last week for rough driving and had to start in the rear of the field. We have no word on what the officials will do this time around. In the meantime, Bobby Porteau has pulled away from the field a little bit, and running in second is Bernie Fellows, who won the pole and is now looking to chase down Bobby Porteau to take his first ARLA Elite Series victory. But in order to do that, he has to hold off Porteau's teammates, Kevin Monroe and Jeb Klinger, running third and fourth. A few laps later, Porteau encounters the lap car of Siju Dejao in the 37. Porteau gets under the 37 coming off turn 4 and he hooks him, allowing Bernie Fellows to catch right up. However, Porteau has the bottom, so the 188 can't get around him on the inside. And then coming off of turn 2, Porteau gets a big run and opens up a nice gap once again. In the closing laps of the race, Kevin Monroe gets a run on Bernie Fellows and wrestles second away from the 188. But it was too little too late, and just like at Iowa at the beginning of the season, Bobby Porteau runs away from the field and takes his second victory of the season. And here are your top 10 finishers. Bernie Fellows breaks up a possible M&J 1-2-3. Nonetheless, that's his best finish of his Elite Series career. Andy Pearson came into this race with a points lead, and he certainly helped that out by finishing 5th. Ricky Navarro finishes 6th. Patrick Carroll has had a lot of bad luck in the past few weeks, but he finished 7th this week. Shane Lake kind of faded away after that last restart, but he hangs on to finish 8th. Dale Underwood runs 9th, and Kurt Walker very quietly finishes in 10th. And now for the top 10 in points. Andy Pearson holds a 61-point lead over Bobby Porto. Brenda Riggs runs 3rd, 110 points behind Pearson. However, that might change after spinning Jason Bates into the pits after starting last on a penalty. Speaking of Jason Bates, he runs 4th, 114 points behind the leader. Kevin Monroe is in 5th. Joseph Howard hangs on to 6th. He currently leads the Rookie of the Year standings. Ricky Navarro is in 7th. Todd Stater runs 8th. Scott Morales hangs on to 9th. And Kurt Walker rounds out the top 10.